welcome. It is my absolute honor and a huge, huge pleasure to introduce the wonderful Lizzie Vince, alignment marketing coach. I'm so pleased to have you here. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us.
Thank you for having me. I love your energy. This is like, for everyone listening, this is the first time that we've connected like via voice. I mean, we're both in the UK, which is, I love connecting with people in the UK, but yeah, we've just been connecting on Facebook Messenger. So it's so nice to, like, it having been lockdown and everything, to see another person, to feel your amazing energy. I love it.
Oh, you're so lovely. And exactly all the same back to you. Yeah, it's amazing to be able to connect and see that beautiful smiling, shining light in real kind of real time.
Yes, exactly. We're bringing the sunshine to a gloomy day.
Yeah, a bit grey here. Okay, so the first question is, what does self-care mean to you?
Ooh, a good question. And I'll be completely honest, something that I haven't always been the best at because of various being stuck in the masculine and leading to burnout. And I'm sure you guys know all about that. And I know Liz definitely does. So yeah, self-care, you know what? I think, so I have ADHD, so I'm a manifesting generator, and I'm a Gemini. So I'm your typical like airy fairy, like free spirited, floaty person. Like the idea of structure makes me feel sick, and I'm just like claustrophobic. So I don't like people telling me what to do, which is why I'm an entrepreneur. So when people say like, oh, you have to wake up at 5 a.m. or like you have to get this many hours of sleep, or like you have to meditate every day, I'm like, no. Like anytime somebody tells me to do something, I'm like, no, not doing it. So for me, everything in my life, including self-care, is intuitive and intentional. So it's like some days I meditate, some days I don't. I always do. I got sent some free skincare, and so I do my skincare routine every day, which amazing manifestation a few months ago. I work out every day because I just love it. Although I did a half marathon on Sunday, so my legs, I won't be barely walk right now, let alone run. So and self-care, self-care to me, probably it looks very different to normal people. Like it's probably just being with like spending quality time with my partner or my family or my friends, just laughing and just being in the moment. I am a bath lover, especially right now because my legs need it. And I do love skincare and beauty things and pampering myself. But yeah, I'm not like your wake up at 5 a.m., meditate, read a book, all of the, I'm not that kind of girl.
Oh, I love that. And I think it's really important because a lot of people, when you say self-care, they do go to those things straight away. And it's like, right, it has to be this structure and it has to be X amount of time. And of course, that doesn't fit everybody. Everybody's completely unique.
So true. And I think that's so important to, yeah, recognize and point out that we are all different. And it's like following your intuition, like whatever feels right for you, and following your heart and your soul, and being the word of the moment for me at the minute is like intentionality. So just being intentional with everything I do, and that just massively helps you to slow down and just really build that conscious awareness, which always helps with like managing stress and anxiety and things that come up in your daily life.
Yeah, I love that. And how have you reached that point? So what has your journey been in kind of getting to that place where you're like, yeah, I can listen to my body and I can go intuitively, with what I need. How have you got there?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think, to be honest, like most people, I think I used to just be completely tuned out, like not really, even down to like eating, like not being mindful about what I eat, not like drinking enough water, like having too much caffeine, like drinking too much on the weekends, like just little things like that. And I think before I became a coach, I did personal development, and that really introduced I did network marketing, which obviously introduced me into personal development and mindfulness. And mindfulness is amazing because it whatever it looks like for you, and it really is about that slowing down. And I think if you're someone who you can't like remember the last time that you like sat down and you properly enjoyed a meal and you intentionally and mindfully ate it, or you had like a really intentional and mindful bath, or even when exercising you were very intentional and mindful, or anything like that, then just kind of draw your awareness to that. And like the next meal you have, or next time you have a bath, next time you cook, the next time you eat a meal, just like be in that moment and think to yourself, just take, I think obviously the pandemic has been hugely beneficial in some ways, in the sense that everyone has slowed down. And I guess my like worry is that everyone's just going to speed up again. And that creates so much anxiety and pressure and stress, which I talk a lot about masculine and feminine energy, and that's largely operating in wounded masculine energy. Like feminine energy is slow, and it's surrendered, and it's intuitive. And if you're not, going back to your question, like if you're just running around, rushing around all day, you have no time to check in with like how you're feeling in your body. Like, do I feel stressed? Like, do I want to eat this? Do I want to drink this? Do I want to do this kind of exercise, or do I want to do this kind of exercise? Like, do I want to do a guided meditation, or do I want to do a silent meditation? Like, you're always just on that hamster wheel. And I think, like, I would just urge everyone listening, my number one tip is just to slow down. And I know probably if you have kids, it's pretty hard, but like, do whatever you can.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. And I think that's kind of the undertone of everything that you were sharing, is just about slowing that pace down. And yeah, I have 4 kids and rescue dogs, and so it can be tricky, but you can always take, I was just coaching a client just now, and you can always take like 1 minute. So that's literally all you can do. You can just have 1 minute, just find somewhere on your own, close your eyes, and just connect with yourself for that 1 minute. And
I
if you do
love
that
that.
like every day, it begins to get easier.
Mm,
And then we can flow into that like intuitive place.
beautiful. This podcast interview has actually reminded me to slow down even more. So I'm very grateful for this and for you. Hopefully everyone else listening feels the same.
I'm sure they will. And, all of your experiences that you've shared so far, I know will support so many people. So I'm super grateful for you.
Amazing.
So if you think back right to the very beginning of your self-care journey, can you remember what your first experience of it was?
That's a good question. Um, it probably was like the typical bath thing. Like I've always been, because I'm super, like I've always been really sporty. I've always loved like exercising. I've kind of like gone to that to like, prepare my body. Um, but yeah, I grew up in like a very quite a fast-paced environment, in terms of like my dad was always working, and my mum was always like stressed about things, and like always cleaning, and could never relax. And my mum and my nan, like they have that in common, they've always just said like, oh, I just really struggle to relax, I just can't relax. Obviously that's a story that they're telling themselves. And yeah, so I think it's definitely been later on in life, but it's probably like when I first discovered kind of mindfulness and I'm not Buddhist, but like that sort of like Buddhist way of life of really slowing down and being intentional with your energy, where are you putting it. Yeah, I kind of realized that how much my anxiety was actually I was manifesting myself. Like I was actually creating, like I was choosing the anxiety almost because I was creating it in my life. And that was a big breakthrough that I had probably a month, maybe 2 months ago. So not even that long ago. And I woke up and I just didn't feel as anxious because I just chose, like I changed my story and I chose not to feel anxious anymore, and just, and like I say, slowing down massively helped with that. And yeah, like we've said, making time for self-care and mindfulness.
Yeah. Ooh, I love it. And I love how your journey's kind of ebbed and flowed, over time. And that's a really
Sure.
kind of a really recent change.
Yes, I'm always changing, I'm always moving. So that's why I'm like, if I can slow down, being a manifesting generator in human design, a Gemini, and having ADHD, like anybody listening, if you're trying to make up an excuse, I'm not having it. You can do it.
Yeah, love it. Absolutely. And everybody can do it completely.
Yes.
Just finding that right kind of first step.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
And
it will
realizing when
snowball.
enough is enough, right? Like enough isn't like a feeling anxious or stressed or not having time for yourself, always feeling run off the ground, like always feeling exhausted or burnt out. Like you can decide. Something my mum said to me, because I called her up like 2 weeks ago and I was like, I'm so tired and burnt out. And she was like, only you can change that. Only you can do something about that. And it's like so true. That hits home.
Ooh, and I love that. That's like amazing because you've obviously done a bit of a kind of a full circle there with your mum where she didn't have time to rest and relax. And then with your experiences, I suspect kind of rippling out to her, she's then been able to turn it around and go, you're the only one that can change it. And you're like, I know, I taught you that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, my mum has got very good. The pandemic helped of like furlough and stuff. But she's proof that you can change as well. So there we go.
Yeah, I love it. And I've had a similar experience like with my dad, like through lockdown, he's realized that, there's only so much time in life. And that actually, if he wants to change things, he gets to change it now. So I've had these kind of conversations that I dreamt of having with him and never thought they were possible. But then it's that silver lining through like the COVID situation that has enabled us all to kind of slow down altogether. And yeah, like you said, we get to keep that going.
I love that. Yeah, the ripple effect. Yeah, like you say, you positively impact those around you. So that's another benefit and incentive to do it.
Amazing. So thinking about like positivity, how do you celebrate yourself?
Oh, yes. I'm actually really good at this. I'm actually really good at celebrating myself. I got to say, I've got to pat myself on the back there, because I think like as a child, I would get like my parents did a lot of positive, my mom and stepdad did a lot of positive reinforcement. And to some extent, to my detriment, when I went into the adult world of working, and then I was like, but you don't get praise. Like I've used the own praise and education from my parents. Like, what is this world? Obviously now I work for myself, I give myself praise, like I'm the best boss ever to myself. uh, but yeah, like again, it's really about conscious awareness and intentionality. um like every time I hit a milestone in my business, like I buy a bottle of champagne, and like I now have like a row of bottles of champagne that I like have kept on my desk to like remember, like, oh, that was for that was for this, that was for that. So that's really nice. And like my partner and I, we love going out for dinner, so we usually do that. And yeah, even just like small, like I think I probably celebrate myself even every day, because like I mean, I'm very lucky in the sense that I have like a really supportive boyfriend, and like he's just amazing. Like he's just so laid back, and so like he's just got all of this stuff down already, and it's just like, how, like people work so hard to achieve this and you've like just got it all naturally. And so he's just like, he said to me once, like, it's the small things that get me through the day. So like, if for him it's like if the football's going to be on, or like if he can play his video game, or like what's dinner going to be like. And for me it's like I celebrate myself every day by like watching one of my favorite TV shows at night, or like, having a bath, or like I said, mindfully doing my skincare routine, or like having a really yummy dinner. So it's like I actually think I celebrate myself. Like I genuinely, I think people probably look at me and think like, she can't be that happy all the time. But like I don't have anything to not be happy about. But then I do. Like my stepdad has stage 4 lung cancer, but it's like still he's fighting it and he's doing amazing. And it's like I do have things to not be happy about, but why would I focus on, I think again, intentionality and focus. Like I focus on it's gratitude, really. Like just going out for a walk every lunchtime, something I look forward to, eating my lunch, eating dinner, like watching my favorite TV show, like having calls with like you or my clients or stuff. Like I have so much to be grateful for and happy about. Why would I? And sometimes I have like certain, again, like, like limiting beliefs from childhood. My mum always used to say like, oh, everything's going well, something bad is going to happen. And like I actually had that thought this morning, and then I was like, that's such a BS thing. Like that doesn't have to be the case. Like things can just keep going amazingly well and like never stop. Not to say that bad things don't happen, like my stepdad, but it's like it's the way that you manage them and cope with those situations. But yeah, I wasn't always like this. Like I've suffered with anxiety and depression and stuff. So like I don't want people to look at me and be like, oh, well, it's okay for you, because there were times there have been dark times.
Yeah. And I think for those of us that end up in this kind of arena of looking to support and raise other people up, there tends to be that kind of that darkness and that history underneath. But then you get to stand and go, yeah, but it's possible, from
Yeah.
those like those deepest, darkest moments, there's like the little glimmers of hope. And then look, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So yeah, I recommend, like, I know it's such a simple thing that you hear all the time, but like gratitude every day, like people say like write down 3 things you're grateful for. Again, I don't like structure being told what to do. So even just thinking in your mind what you're grateful for, like that's enough. You don't need to write it in a journal. You can if you want, but even just thinking about it throughout the day, like I'm grateful to be having this conversation with you. I'm grateful to be going on a walk soon and to be having my lunch. I'm grateful for my client call that I just had. I'm grateful for all of my other clients. Like I'm grateful for my partner. I'm grateful for food and water and love. And like, I mean, the list is endless. And you just have to like, the more, it's like anything, the more you practice it, the more it kind of, the more you don't even have to consciously think about it. Like I don't have to consciously think what I'm grateful for or write it down. I just am grateful because I've got to that point now.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, and that's the kind of the point, is that you begin by actively and intentionally going, I'm grateful for. And then as you do
Mm,
it over time, like you said, it just becomes who you are. You become grateful because you've done gratitude for such a long
so
time.
true.
Yeah, it's
So
beautiful.
true. And that's not to say some days you're like, everything's going wrong. Like, why is this? Why is that? But then that's when you have to remind yourself, like, it's with personal development, it's and like positive mindset, there's a lot about like toxic positivity. And it's just, knowing that you are going to have bad days, but it's not about, I call it like the bounce back. It's like, how quickly can you bounce back from those bad days and get back into that grateful state?
Yeah, I love that. The bounce back. That's beautiful.
Yeah. And you can
Yeah.
literally like imagine yourself like literally bouncing back, which is like really cool as well, like jumping or whatever.
Yeah.
Being
And
silly.
there's like a certain kind of surrender and like release. When you go bounce back, you're like, oh yeah, so you let it go. So you allow yourself, you give yourself the grace to feel whatever you're feeling, because in that moment is exactly what you get to feel. And then it flows through. And then you get to just rise back up again. Yeah.
So true. Surrender. Yes. Trust, release, and surrender is my mantra, which is like female, feminine embodiment. Yeah, really defined. Trust, release, and surrender. If anyone wants to steal that, you can.
Yeah, I love it. It sounds like a bumper sticker as well. It's
Yes.
perfect.
I should get it printed somewhere. But again, I don't need to see it because it's so firmly imprinted in my brain.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful. I love it, love it, love it. S-
Amazing.
So, if someone was coming at self-care for the very first time, where would you suggest they begin?
I would just say like I said, I'm so anti rules and like being told what to do. So if you're somebody that's like that, you know, you don't have to go by the books, like you don't have to like follow them meticulously. I would just say, you know, our whole world and existence is so external that we forget that we actually have all of the answers. So I'd say look within and ask yourself, like even right now, like close your eyes and ask yourself, you know, what is self-care, what do I want self-care to look like for me? And just like sit in that energy with that question and just feel whatever comes up for you. How do I want, how will self-care look for me? How do I want self-care to look for me? And whatever comes up, you know, you don't judge it, you don't think anything of it, you just know that that's what it's meant to look like. And don't think like, oh, but Sally down the street does it like this, or but oh, my friend said I should do this, or this book said I should do this. Because the path to least resistance and basically living the most effortless, happy life is following your intuition. I promise. Like, if you follow your intuition, okay, like I said, bad things do still happen, but there's so much flow and effortlessness that everything just feels easy and everything just flows, and there's no like tightness or attachment or resistance. It just feels like you're just going through life. You know, do you ever think about those people who just seem like they just float through life? Yeah, those are those people that are listening to their intuition and flowing with it, rather than thinking like comparison is the thief of joy. So don't and the thief of effortlessness. So don't compare yourself, just follow, look inside and follow what feels aligned for you.
Amazing. It's just perfect.
You can tell I've been doing a lot of this, again, effortlessness is like effortlessness, intentionality, like those are my buzzwords at the moment.
Yeah, I love it. And so we sourced this connection at just the right moment.
We did.
Yeah.
Divine timing, of course.
I'm so absolutely super, super, super grateful for you. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely my pleasure. And if there's anything that you want to like share with the audience or anything, like a link to your group or whatever, then let me know and I can put it on the bottom of your thing for you.
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh. What I would love to share is my magnetic meditation, which honestly, like my clients are just manifesting dates, like with men, money, like it's just insane. And I wrote it on the airplane when I was like flying back from Portugal in June. And like I recorded it when I got home. It was just, again, it was so effortless. Like recorded it for me, but I put it out there on Facebook and like so many people have downloaded it. And it's just, it's like I don't even know. It's just blown up basically. People are obsessed with it. So you can find, I will send you the link. And then my Facebook group is Monetize Your Genius, and I'm Lizzie Vince on Facebook and Instagram. So yeah, come and connect with me.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. And yeah, sourcing you a beautiful, effortless rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, lovely.
Thank
Mwah.
you.
See ya.
Bye.